So when the school now resumed, remember I wasn't working. Children are growing. Their uniforms can no longer take them. And I needed to buy new ones.
Does your school have a uniform exchange policy or anything?
Sorry?
Does your school have a uniform exchange policy or anything? No.
I don't think so.
Right, okay.
But I heard of some schools, I don't know, I think some schools, they do give out uniform rebates or something, which they don't do in my children's school. When you ask them for anything, they will tell you, go to the library will give you, or they will direct you to the appropriate quarters. So when they resumed school, there was no school shoe. It was started. If you call them, they will tell you the school shoe, everything was down. And as I was discussing with a parent, she said, "Oh, don't worry. My son has some uniforms he has as in used ones." So I said, "Don't worry, okay." And that was our equalized uniforms. Then, I think that same week that the school resumed, I went into Asda and I saw sales of white tops for £1. God bless this lady that I do work with in the school. She then gave me £5. She said I should buy white for my children. Thank you. And that was how I was able to get 2 polo and 2 shirts for them. And I'm a little good in mending of clothes. So I had to mend their school trousers underneath, and I had to remove the edges to make it a little bit longer. So they resumed school. And I started making, because I couldn't afford the school meal. So I started making them lunch to take to school. Behold, my children sometimes will take the food to school, they won't eat. Why? Because they take rice every day. So I think they were tired of the rice. And I said, because then I don't know anything about this Tuesday food bank. I started entering Asda because it's closer to their school. Every afternoon, I will go in and get fresh food that are expired.
Reduced due to,
that they are selling on sales that same day. Then I will buy and take home, make for them. Even if I say, okay, they should take it to school the following day, the older one will tell me, "Mom, you know it has already expired." They won't eat it. So I just made it up that, okay, if you know you don't want to be taking all these things to school, you ask for varieties. And since you don't want to be eating the expired ones, even sometimes I will tell them, I say, "Don't worry. The fact that I have microwaved it or I have cooked it, that is okay." They will say no. So I started cooking rice. Until a day, the school now called me that they realize that my children are always coming with one particular food that I need to change. So I just gave the school the excuse that they don't like any other food apart from rice. And sometimes they will take the school meal, the rice to school. They will do as if they are eating. They will just pour a little into the cover. They will eat a little. They will bring the remaining back home. And when I ask them, they will tell me it's either the rice is too cold or they are tired of rice. They won't eat. And if I say, okay, the following day, should I make sandwich? They will tell me yes. But in the morning, when I that wants to make the sandwich, I know I don't have anything I want to put in between.
Yeah.
They will just tell me, Mom, don't worry. Just put the bread like that. I say, you can't eat ordinary bread in school. They will say, nobody will know that we are eating bread without butter, because they don't like, they prefer to eat bread and butter instantly, but not to take it to school.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, they will just take the 2 slices, cut into 2, do it as if it's
A
sandwich,
Mm.
and take to school. And that is how they do eat it. So it has been so bad.
Very difficult, extremely difficult for you. So these are impossible decisions that you've had to make in your life. What are the other sort of impossible decisions that you've had to make in order for you to look after yourself and the boys?
Number 1 is, if there's nothing to eat at home, all I do is just take a cup of tea for myself, and I'll look for something else for my children to eat. It can be bread. In most cases, I do get bread. Sliced bread is always at home for them. So when they eat bread, like this morning, the younger one just took 2 slices of bread and he drank water. I said, we might not come back until 2. He said, don't worry. When we get back home, we'll eat. So the one that entered secondary school in April, the same lady that I said gave me £5.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter too happens to be in my son's secondary school now. She has another boy in the same school. She was the one that sent me the son's blazer, trouser, and polo, because in that school you have got to pay for everything, including pencil. A child cannot go to the school with own pencil. They won't accept it. To be candid, if I have known that the school is like that, I wouldn't have accepted it. You pay anything the child wants to use, including their socks, you buy from the school. So thank God for this lady. She has been so good.
You can't just go to a normal Primark or something and get socks. You have to buy school-specific socks.
Yes.
So how much does the school uniform cost for you?
Their polo,
because he's just gone into year 7.
Yes, he just entered year 7.
Right.
Their polo, according to size, I think the smallest is £14.
Wow.
The PE socks is £4. £4 for PE socks. The only socks I was able to get outside was the black socks that he's using. Even the school shoe that we bought, he lost one. He said because in the hall there are almost about 300 children changing at the same time. So I don't know how manage. Another child took one of his shoe. Until now, I've not been able to get another shoe for him. I had to call the school, and the school said he can't use trainers, that I should get him Plimsoll or some Plimsoll, yes. Yeah. So that is what he's using, because I can't afford another school shoe. We just bought it in August, and come October, one leg is already gone.
My goodness. And you, in the rain that we've had and things, you can't wear Plimsolls to school because they're not waterproof.
You will be managing it, because where will I get the money from?
Yeah.
I had to save and save and save. Just last Friday, before I was called to remind me of this interview, I was rushing down to school to come and pick the younger one. I left my handbag in the bus. The £28 that was inside was being taken off.
Oh my goodness.
I was trying to save.
Oh, Susan, what? My heart goes out to you, because
I was trying to save to get him another school shoe. Even as they are now, they're already asking me, Mom, what are you going to give us for Christmas? I said, you have your school shoe. If I'm able to buy a school shoe for you, forget about Christmas gifts. I know the Lord will send people that will give you gifts. But for me, for now, I can't boast of anything. I need to save towards your school shoe because you can't keep wearing Prim-Soul to school.
Yes.
So let me save towards your school shoe. Get another one for you. Then if by January I'm buoyant enough, I will get you something that you want.
So roughly how much are school shoes?
The one we bought is about 55 because then they were asking for kickers. So,
Yeah.
and people said kickers usually last for
longer.
a year.
Yeah.
And that was how we decided to get the kickers, 55 pounds. Now, only 1 month in school. One leg is gone.
Goodness. So you've started using the food bank.
Yes.
And you've been able to access food and also the Fresh Tuesday, get
Yes.
some fresh produce and things. What difference has that made to you and the boys?
It has really helped us a lot because they were able to get variety of meal now.
Mm-hmm.
The older one this morning, he took a can of baked beans with his own slice of bread. It's the younger one that said no, he prefers to eat the bread like that and drink water. The food bank has really helped. It's just in terms of me getting a little bit of cash to get something else for my children.
Mm-hmm.
The food bank is really trying, but I needed to get extra help from the government. This issue of no recourse to public fund is affecting me a lot. My son is a British. The passport is there, the certificate is there, but I can't claim anything on his behalf.
Yeah.
I can't claim anything on his behalf.
You applied for something in June, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I had to plead with the Home Office now to have pity on me. They should consider my situation. With my legs, I can't do any work. They should remove that clause from my leave to remain so that I'll be able to have access to collect something from the government.
So you're in ill health now, you have hip
My
problems.
mobility, yes.
So, and you have poor mobility, because I noticed when you came in, you have poor mobility. What other medical issues do you have? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to.
Blood pressure, high blood pressure, which also started when there was difficulty at home. That same year, 2020, no job, nothing. That was when, because I think I remember that I went for an appointment because they called me in that they needed to check how my
Hips were?
hip, just the right one was going before they now detected that I've been resting on the left one.
So you've been causing too much pressure on your left hip?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was when they discovered that this one too had to be removed. So normally when you go for appointment, they do general checkup. And during that checkup, that was when they realized that
You have high blood pressure?
was high. So they said I need to start monitoring. And that was that same 2020. God have mercy on me. That was the same year I started paying for high blood pressure medications. Remember, I was paying for my pain relief before, the painkillers. Now I've added the high blood pressure medication to it.
So with your poor mobility, it's going to be very difficult for you to find any employment as such. So how have you been managing?
Well, people have been supporting me.
So friends and family?
Friends and families. My friends from my children's school. They've been very, very supportive. I have some friends too on my streets. Sometimes they will just pump in. They will give the children money. And that is what we'll use to do small runs in the house.
So with the cost of living increases that everybody's facing, how's that impacting on you?
I pray that I won't be homeless one of these days, because my electricity supplier has already written us that we are to be paying 105. Initially, it was £65.
So it's almost doubled.
Yes,
80%
almost
increase.
doubled. So I had to tell the kids that they needed to stop using lights anyhow. That Friday that I said I lost my bag, I went to Eford and I was able to I entered into a charity store and I saw Onesie, this overall that children can wear. I had to buy it, and I told them afterwards, I said, please, you've got to learn how to keep yourself warm so that we will not be homeless. There's no way I can afford the house rent. 2020, my landlord came. Sorry, I didn't put it at the beginning. She also increased the house rent with £50.
Right.
So we have just got to learn how to manage ourselves, because I know water bill too, those ones too are also coming soon, and they are going to increase. So I'm teaching my children now to stop wasting water and learn not to on lights all the time. Keep themselves warm, wear their socks, keep warm at all times, because I know bills, and I don't pray dying at this tender age. Who will look after my children?
That is an impossible situation for anybody to be in the UK in 2022 now. So I take my hat off to you, Susan, for the way that you are coping. If you wanted to say something to the policymakers, to councillors, to MPs, because you've always lived in Barking, have you?
Yeah, I've been living in Barking since December 2010.
2010, okay.
Yes.
So if you could speak to the local councillors or MPs or any of the policymakers, what would you say to them?
Firstly, I would tell them to help families. If possible, they should remove this clause of no recourse to public assets, to public funds, from leave to remain people. Because you work, you pay tax, when you're working, they will deduct tax, deduct your NI, and still you are not benefiting anything from them.
Yeah, so no NHS costs, nothing. You have to put everything yourself.
So they should try and remove it. Make life better for families, for people living in the UK. And also, schools. I don't know how they are going to do it. Liaise with schools to always give helping hand. If any parents, any mother, father should come to them for assistance, they should not be directing them up and down.
Yes.
There should always be a department in a school that will always look for children's well-being. And if a mother should come to them for help, they should always be at an alert to support them. Give them any helping hand they can. Not directing, sending them, go to this, go online, go and search for people that are under no recourse to public fund, know what they can do, know what you can do, or you go to a lawyer. Those are the things they were telling me in my son's school. Go to the library, go and see them there. Go online, go and search for people that are under no recourse to public fund. They should be able to help you. There should be a department in a school that will be there to render help to parents at any of these situations at all times. They shouldn't leave people. And when it's time for election now, they will start seeking for our support. When we support them, but they are nowhere to be found when I needed their help. It's not good enough. they should help us when we come to them. Remove this clause from people's status in the country. Let everybody be able to get at least 2-3 things from the country. If I'm paying you tax, I should be able to get something in return.
Yeah. So a better understanding from schools and from the policymakers.
Yes.
Having somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, rather than you being shunted from pillar to post, to actually help you when you need the help then and there, so that you can make an informed decision as to what you want to do.
That's what I want to do, yes.
Yeah. And also for the schools to support you with regard to the children's uniform and things like that.
In regard of anybody's status, the school should be, I believe that they are the primary level for me to be able to speak out.
Yes.
They are very close to me. That is where my children goes to. So when I see them, I should know that, oh, this person is there to help me.
Yeah.
It's just like in a church. If I needed to talk, my pastor is there. Pastor, this is what I'm going through. Can you advise me on this? So if I go to the head teacher, this is situation of things in my home, the head teacher should be able to say, okay, don't worry. We have a group, we have a department, we have a certain
who can help you.
Who can help me, and they should be able to put me through in all this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Susan. I really appreciate, because it's the beginning of half term, you're here today with your boys outside, but thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your story. And
thank you, and I hope you have not been bored with my story.
No. It's interesting for the listeners out there to know what people like yourself, because not all of us will understand what no recourse to public funds actually means. I certainly, until this weekend, really didn't have a understanding of what people like you face. So it's been very helpful to me as well. But I wish you all the very best, and thank you very much.
Thank you so
for
much.
Your time.
Thank you so much.
As we have heard in Susan's case, most families with no recourse to public funds have at least one British child, and the vast majority of these are black minority ethnic children. It is interesting to note that the High Court has ruled on 5 occasions that this policy is unlawful. Yet the Home Office is reluctant to withdraw it. Why is that?